Okay, mics are going to go hot now.
How'd that check out?
Are we live? Test. Talk. Will you talk?
I don't know if we're butting in or not.
You are. You're live.
Wait, he might not be live. It might be on.
Testing.
If you can hear it.
Testing.
We can hear him now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're live right now. What is he? Mic 1?
He's mic 3. No, he's on solo. He's on solo.
Okay, let's unsolo him.
If you want a breakdown of what happened up in City Hall where they're planning zoning, join me, LMC, from 2 to 3 on Sundays for the LMC Underground Bumper Show. So you've got the Underground Bumper Show, and you've got the Underground Bumper Show Reloaded. Peace out. Once again, you're listening to 104.1 FM KZSM. Now and then, or www.kzsm.org. Peace out, San Marcos.
You are locked in live to San Marcos News Live, LMC Underground Bunker, 104.1 FM, KZSM. I've got a bad boy on the show today, y'all. Sam Brannon's in the house. Say good morning, Sam.
Good morning, everybody. Hello, San Marcos. You to everybody out there, Milano.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's talk about Milan a little bit first. Let's just start off with that.
You can't just warm up and get there.
Well, that will warm us up, that one. I'm already getting sweaty thinking about it. In fact, I was getting sweaty thinking about this show over at Torchy Sam. I was watching all these people watching these sporting events, and I kind of got aggravated because I'm thinking, why don't they know the game plan at the City Hall like I do, like they know their sporting events, right? We've got people like you who, like, people know scorecards and players' records, but you are the bad boy because you know what's going on. Give me a lowdown on what's going on in your world right now, Sam, because you're just a man of many issues.
Oh, wow. I'd say the latest thing going on is I'm back in that fluoride game, but not in San Marcos right now. We got called up, a couple of people I know in Buda called right before Christmas and said, hey, they're getting ready to re-implement the fluoridation in Buda. Come down and help us. So I've been working with them a little bit. I think their Facebook group is now up to 300 plus members. And that's, they've got 7,700 voters. So they're making some big headway and making some right moves. So I'm kind of just helping them along.
Rock on. Well, that's part of being an activist is helping other people and showing them different tactics, whether it's research, open records request, or having a protest, getting people to show up at City Hall or a planning and zoning commission meeting, making t-shirts, or even a petition. So what are you doing right now? What can we in San Marcos do to help our neighbors right down the road to make sure their water is safe?
Well, it's happening real time, and it's been happening really fast. I think right now they're trying to get the city council, just to bring it up again one more time, and put it on hold indefinitely until they get a chance to go in and present and have a public hearing where we can talk about the issues in an honest manner. I tell you what, they've got a lot to work with up there. The people that have come out are articulate, they're intelligent, they've been studying up on this, and I'm watching real time on Facebook people that did not really have an opinion on it, change it in just a matter of minutes. So they're doing a real good job, and I think if they get through this political process and get it brought back up, then later probably what will help them do is put together a city charter amendment to get it on the ballot, and that way they can take it out once and for all, at least until somebody else votes it back in.
What is the name of the Facebook page right now that you're referencing?
Yeah, it's Buda Citizens for Safe Water. Buda Citizens for Safe Water on Facebook, and if you're interested in helping them out or learning more about the fluoridation issue or knowing what's going on at Buda City Hall, that's a good place to go.
So when is the next meeting? When are there meetings on Tuesdays like ours, Sam?
Yeah, they'll have one. They had one this past Tuesday, and Buda turned out 20 plus citizens to that one, and 10 of them spoke, including a 12-year-old girl, and a lot of them have conditions that makes them personally affected by fluoridation more so than the average person. and they showed up and talked about that. And city councils now, I mean, they had tabled the issue on December 20th, and now they're talking about putting it back on the agenda and actually having that presentation, the public hearing that the people are asking for. So, you know, it's always the thing, the more people that show up and the more vocal and informed that they are, the better chance you're gonna get your way. And they've been polite and righteous in their moves so far. I think they will continue to be. So it's a good project to, you know, help shepherd them through.
Did they not have Florida and now they're bringing it back? Is that what's going on with, I don't understand the whole thing.
Yeah, so for everybody that was, and you were, Lisa, so you know what we went through on the process for fluoridation here in San Marcos. We did city charter amendment petitioning. We got sued by the city. We won. We got it on the ballot, and we voted 61 to 39% to stop the fluoridation program here in San Marcos. When we did that, we weren't even aware. But when we did that, we also freed Kyle, the city of Kyle, and the city of Buda, I think Go Forth Water Supply, and maybe one or two other small water supplies.
Wow.
Yeah, because the way they were
You
fluoridating.
are a bad boy, Sam.
When they were fluoridating in San Marcos, they were sending the fluoridated water right up the pipe, right up the freeway. So, and since then, this is really interesting. Since then, the city of Kyle heard the issue in city council, and they actually voted not to reinstate the program. So, props to Kyle. Buda, for whatever reason, one of their outgoing city council members was actually on the Texas fluoridation program. She was an engineer or some office there, and so she was really pushing it. But I think now, you know, she's stepped out, didn't run last time. So now I think the tone of the city council may be in the process of changing, just based on what a small handful and then a couple dozen and now a few hundred people are pushing forward there.
Wow, that's really very interesting. We're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna do a plug. You guys are listening right now to 104.1 FM KZSM. On the internet, it's www.kzsm.org. I'm just gonna take a really quick break, a promo here, and then we're gonna continue.
This is Lisa Marie Campoletta. You are locked in live to 104.1
Testing. Okay, we're on. The next segment, I'm gonna try to put some music
We
underneath.
are www.kzsm.org on the radio. I want to issue a challenge for you.
So it's a little
here.
jazzy.
Every time someone gives you a positive
We weren't
compliment
talking about anything before.
or
when we were talking about
sagely
it.
advice,
Okay.
something about yourself they describe or
Someone
observe that
hit
you
that thing
haven't
so
reflected
low.
upon
Good
it,
job, Jasmine.
makes your heart flutter.
And then
Create
we want to
yourself
talk about election,
invisible
our running for office
medicine.
next.
Place each of those thoughts, those sentiments into your medicine bag.
Okay.
Think about,
Okay.
is it a stone or a fossil, a crystal, what
Give me
sort of,
safety bag.
maybe mineral is it, or maybe even
Okay, the
a
mics
piece
are
of
gonna go
bark
hot
off
now.
the old heritage
Mics are hot.
tree. Put that in your heart and carry that with you each year. Maybe make a note to your mind or write it down in a spiral of who said what about you. It's kind of like Santa's nice list of the ones who inspire you in your life. This is Lisa Marie Campoletta. Please join me every Sunday from 2 to 3 with LMC Underground Bunker. We're a hyper-local news deconstruction of what's going on up at City Hall here in our community. You're locked in live to 104.1 FM KZSM, and we are www.kzsm.org on the net. Peace out, San Marcos.
Oh yeah, baby. All right, San Marcos, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try to have some background music while me and the bad boy are talking. Let's see here. All right, I think we got some background music now, Sam.
Yay.
We get relaxed. We need some relaxation after last fall. Both Sam and I were running for political office, and it was just so awesome to see the things that you did. You were going live on Facebook. You had people wearing those blue shirts. You were nailing it in the debates. And then you worked, afterwards with Ruben. What's going on with you now? Any last thoughts about what you went through during the campaign, Sam?
There's no real way to describe what being inside of a political campaign is to somebody that's never been inside one, right?
Exactly. Don't judge people.
But I actually had a lot of fun with it. We got to go out and be positive the whole way through and talk about the changes that we wanted to see in the city and how it benefit the citizens. And, you know, the response we got on it was fantastic. Some of the things that we talked about then, there's members on city council now that want to move forward, and we're going to put them in a position to do it confidently and be successful with it.
One of the things you were very good about, in fact, I visited with Ben and Brian's lovely girlfriend up over at Cafe in the Square for a while, is how you've talked about changing the culture of City Hall. And that's something that's near and dear to my heart. I want to hear your ideas, and I've got a couple I want to pop out.
Yeah, for those that follow the campaign very closely, this is probably going to sound like a little bit redundant because I talked about this over and over, but we do have a culture at City Hall that views the people here pretty much as speed bumps on their way to where they're going. And I don't think...
Boom, baby, nailed it.
Yeah, and I think we can expect better than that. If we know we can expect better than that, we need to help them out and show them the way, because honestly, you know, a city manager is a CEO of a company, and he's bottom line results oriented, and doesn't always take into account how, you know, the policies and the practices of the city impact living, breathing human beings in a community. And that's what I think the city council's job is to protect us from, you know, whatever the city intends to do.
Well, that's a very good point. I've been mixing it up with Mr. Miller for 3 months over that split screen. Some people are going, LMC, you need to focus on your campaign, girl. And I'm like, no, because if I let this go, it's just going to become a permanency. And then I was shocked, like after our meeting, like I opened up the paper that Sunday, he's you know, leaving. I'm thinking, well, see, what if you would have left and I would, you know what I'm saying, the next city manager. It's just, it's unbelievable, the little things that we have to fight. And I want to talk a little bit more about the transparency, because I opened up the paper just now and there's a letter to the editor about the Gumbies, and I've got some transparency notions I want to pop out, but tell me a little bit more about things that you would like to see.
Well, I think the first and easiest thing that I'd like to see council do, and like I said, there's many on there that have already stated their support for it, is get that 15-day agenda notice being discussed and looked at, and helping the city staff figure out how they can accommodate it, because I know there's going to be probably a little bit of resistance to it. But, you know, the council members, they deserve the opportunity to go through those packets they're handed and read them and understand what they're really doing when they take a vote. They deserve that opportunity, and we can only be so angry at them if they make decisions with unintended consequences, let's say.
Bullseye, because bullseye, double bullseye. Kenneth Burke, your PowerPoint, sir, were not available until 3 hours before the last city council meeting. And I'll tell you, if I would have been on that dais, I would have called you in, because, right?
It's unacceptable.
And then the Gumbies, the same thing. Tori Carpenter, your PowerPoints weren't in that day either, and I was hounding you for them like a teacher with their student for the visual aid preview. That's ridiculous.
It's really not fair. It's not fair to the council members, and my goodness, for the people that pay the taxes and that have to deal with it. We need to be
show up and speak and write a speech, for gosh sakes.
We need to be able to see this with plenty of time to review it, and time to call our friends and figure out what it means, and time to call council members, and time to call, you know, the experts that we know that can give us good advice on this. It just takes time to do that. 72 hours is completely unacceptable if we hope to get things out of city government that we would like to have happen.
It is. And with the Gumbies thing, you know, the applicant didn't get up and give a presentation. He didn't have any speakers speak in his favor when it was his turn. And all of us, I was like the 12th speaker, one by one get up, when actually they knew they were going to pull that agenda item. And so as a result of that conversation with Christy Stark, we went back and forth through email correspondence. They're going to start telling the residents when we show up, hey, y'all, we're going to pull it, but if you want to speak now, you can't. That was the first transparency issue that we didn't know, but the applicant did, and then he didn't give his deal. And then, of course, the PowerPoints. And then, of course, that legal didn't even take the time, or the development services, or whoever the department is, to find out how many kids were at that Montessori school. It was after I brought that argument up. Like, why aren't you guys what do you think, we're not going to like ascertain these arguments?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I'm getting my
No,
Bianchi voice going. I've
Hey.
been working on my sexy radio voice. I'm sorry, I lost character.
Sound like LMC at the debates, man.
I love debates.
I
Yeah.
hate them and I love them at the same time. I mean, it's just
that
is what it is.
that photo of you and I, and y'all know the photo. I'm gonna post on the LMC Underground Bunker page when I get home in my 40-degree freezing house, because I'm getting a new heater soon. But that photo of you and I was epic.
Yeah.
It was like we were a presidential and vice presidential candidate for like the show Scandal or something. You and I clean up really well. But you know, we don't mind mixing it up. I mean, we're like, that's the thing about an activist, I think. I think we've got more cojones than like staff a lot of times, because they just live in their own little bubble. When you're an activist, you're dealing with everybody, the people with the commerce, the other activists, the people who are being impacted, city staff, attorneys, state watchdog agencies, right?
And there are a lot of people that don't always agree with you and want to make a point out of it, and I understand that too. I mean, that's just part of the friction that you deal with when you stand up and, you know, you speak righteously on topics you care about. There's always going to be some resistance and people lashing back at you.
Sam, y'all need to know, I was really at a low point after my loss, and for a variety of reasons. And Sam and actually JMA, I'll give y'all a shout out. Sam was one of the first people I talked to, and he's like, I'm going to keep doing my thing. And when you said that, I was like, boom, brother's right. You know, my heart was shattered in a million pieces. I didn't think I was going to be able to get up and sub the next day for my colleague, but I did. But it's hard. You're right, because my feelings get hurt, y'all. I'll be straight up. People. Christopher Paul Cardozo was saying, LMC, people either love you or they hate you.
I would say love you or fear you. I don't think anybody really hates you.
Thank you. And I'm a sweetheart. And sometimes my online persona or my email correspondent is not congruent with the sweetheart that y'all know me to be. I'm just like a mama bear. I don't like, don't poke the bear, people. That's what the city secretary was saying this week. She's like, don't poke the bear. And shout out to you, Jamie Lee. Jamie Lee, you fixed that split screen issue, girl. And I've been fighting for that in 3 months. And y'all, she just boomity boom boom boom.